Alright guys, so I'm pretty excited today. What I'm going to be doing is seasoning this brisket that we got. It's going to be the first time we cook a brisket on that PitBoss 700. Just going to show you the rubs. Obviously I'm going to be using just a dry rub. A lot of times when I've made brisket in the past, I've injected it with some marinade. But I really want to see what kind of flavor I get from the pellet grill. So I'm just going to use these two rubs, a light sprinkle of the chupacabra rub as the initial base, and then follow it up with that salt lick dry rub, which has been really good, you know, in the past. But I'm gonna definitely put these two rubs to work on this nice 10-pound brisket that we got. Roughly trimmed it up already, but once I get it seasoned up, I'll let you guys know what it looks like, and we'll take it from there. Going to be cooking this tomorrow, but I am preparing it here the day before, just so that way it'll have a chance to get some of that spice in, sit, and then be ready to go tomorrow. Alright, so we've got it nice and rubbed down. Really just a lighter sprinkle on the chupacabra. Like I said, I want to get that other rub right here, this salt lick dry rub, which is really good, to stand out a little bit more. But gonna go ahead and wrap this up. I'll start cooking this about maybe 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, and next time I see you guys, we'll be out on the grill. Okay guys, outstanding morning here in Denver, and got the brisket on, fat side up. Got my temperature probe in there, and looking at things here, what I've done is I'm going to smoke this for about 3 hours, P setting of 6, and just on the smoke setting, and I think things are going to be going really good here. But everything is set up. Again, this is the first time smoking a brisket on this pellet smoker. Really excited to see how it turns out, and we'll talk to you in 3 hours. Alright, it's been about 3 hours. I've had it on the smoke setting, P6. Looks like the brisket itself is at 116 degrees so far. Should have taken it out of the fridge a little bit earlier, because it started at about 50, a little over 50 degrees. But haven't opened it yet, so you and I are going to get a peek at it for the very first time and see what things look like. Things are really looking good. You can see a lot of that smoke getting into a lot of the meat already. I think if we look especially right around here, definitely can see that smoke is getting into the meat really well. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and close it up and crank it back up to about 225, and then we'll see how things go 6 hours from now. But again, I think you know, being patient, especially with this big a cut of meat, is really important. But I'm really thinking this is going to really come out to a great Texas flavored brisket, and we'll check back. All right, everyone. So we're about 5 hours into cooking time, and as you can see here, internal temperature of this brisket is right at 159 degrees. This is what a lot of us that have cooked brisket before know as a stall. So a lot of times this brisket will sit there for, at that temperature internally, 3 to 4 hours, and there's ways to push it over. One of the ways is actually taking the brisket off and wrapping it in foil or butcher paper, and putting it back on. Of course, we want to get this brisket to an internal temperature of about 190 degrees. But I'm going to go ahead and pop the lid here, and let's take a look and see what's going on inside. As you can see, there's a lot of juice coming from this brisket, and you know, a lot of what happens is this juice is coming out of the brisket. It's creating like a sauna for the brisket sitting inside the grill, and so just as kind of when your body sweats and you've got some sweat on the outside of your skin, it's meant to cool you off, right? And so that's why this brisket a lot of times will sit at this temperature internally for a while. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to close it back up. I'm still going to leave it at 250, and let's see for in about another 30 minutes if that temperature creeps over the 160 mark. And if not, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and wrap it in foil, and then let's get that temperature probe put back in and get it going closer to push it over this mark so we can get it closer to the 190 where it'll be done. Alright, I went ahead and let it sit for about another 40 minutes. Haven't been able to get the brisket over that 168 mark really. Got as high as about 170. But what I did is I did put it in a foil pan. I know that a lot of people like just wrapping it directly. I don't know, for me I've preferred using the pan itself and then just wrapping it really tight. Put the probe back in. Gonna push for it to get to about 190, 195. Then we'll be pulling it off and letting it rest. But just want to let you know where we're at. So far things are looking really good, and I think this is going to really be a good brisket coming off of this PitBoss. So I've been able to get it up to about 201 degrees now, internal temp on the brisket, but let's see how tender it actually is. I'm going to go ahead and poke through it a little bit. See if we can get any resistance. Oh my goodness. This thing is just like butter. So I'm going to go ahead and take it off of the grill, let it rest for about an hour, and then next time you see us, we'll be slicing it up. Alright guys, so we've got our fully cooked brisket here. We're going to be slicing it up. Just going to take a few cuts off of the flat just so we can see how it came out. But you know, we've got the cap here, got that wiggle showing us that it's ready. I would separate the cap, but I'm going to do that afterwards. I just kind of wanted to take a look at what this actually would look like here as we start slicing through it. And you know, again, making sure that as far as everybody's tastes are concerned, some people might like to leave more fat, or we might actually scrape it off and cut it. In this case, you know, I'm going to leave it on just so that way it'll be the flavors of how everybody else might like it. But I think if we look at this, this brisket is very well cooked. It doesn't have as much of a smoke ring as, you know, I might hope, but I think, you know, again, when we look at, you know, bending tests, definitely bent, real nice. Again, you can see a little bit of the smoke ring towards the bottom. And we'll go ahead and just pull it just to see what kind of tender. Oh, that thing just came apart so nice. And then I'm going to taste it, even though we're not going to record that part of it, but let's see what kind of flavor. Wow. This is a really good brisket. One thing I can tell you, again, you know, as we're looking at it, this brisket is not only juicy, but it is ready to go. And I can tell you right now, from Brown Dog Barbecue, I've got Brown Dog over here that's ready to go. And let's see if he approves of the taste. Is it good? You like it? You like it? I would say that's a yes. All right, that's it. We appreciate you guys watching the video. Again, if you like, please like it. Subscribe. We really appreciate a lot of subscribers to go ahead and join us on this channel as we continue to grow. But I think you can see that we're going to bring some Texas flavored barbecue as we continue to go here in Denver. Very nice brisket. Again, subscribe, like, comment. Brown Dog Barbecue. Thank you.
gotten colder. Perhaps I've grown a little cynical, but I know no matter what the waitress brings, I should